I reckon Payday 3 is a good game. That is when you can play it. I've been pretty lucky when it comes to Payday 3. I got into the closed beta, I played the open beta. I thoroughly enjoyed both. As someone who played a bit of Payday 2 a good few years back, from my point of view, it was a huge step up, both visually and mechanically. And when I jumped into the full game for early access, I was genuinely even more impressed. There were 8 heists released on launch, and each have their own unique look and feel. Unreal is a huge step up from the diesel engine that they used in Payday 2, and I'm really glad how much they actually utilized Unreal to really give each location its own feel and atmosphere. From the grey and grimy dirty ice, to the dark and pumping neon cradle, to the golden hour fancy touch the sky apartment. Each location feels different, and especially the lighting, I feel like they've really stepped it up. They've made these 8 heists so different visually that I feel like, for me at least, there'll be a decent amount of replayability there. I'm stoked at how much of the story they're showing us, with the small cutscenes in between the missions adding a meaning to each heist that I felt was really missing in the previous games. I mean, the most story I got out of Payday 2 was Noli's 4-hour long complete story to Payday 2 video, which is amazing, by the way. You should definitely watch it if you haven't already. Performance-wise, I think for me, the full game ran a bit better than the beta. I have a mid-range PC, and I didn't have any issues with the graphics on medium. I would have liked to run it a bit higher, but I'll take it. It seems to kind of be the trade-off for most Unreal games. I've played roughly 20 hours of this game. I've completed all the heists, and I'm going back through completing them all on Overkill now. I'm a huge fan of the stealth. I think they've managed to make a pretty good level of challenging on the hardest difficulty. It kind of keeps me trying over and over, learning more each time before finally completing it. And on completion, it feels pretty great when you've grinded something for that long and have finally managed to complete it. The addition of being able to do so much before even masking up, I feel kind of gives that extra layer and just adds to the many different ways you can complete a heist. Going loud is also pretty fun. The gunplay feels pretty good, maybe slightly floaty for me, but that's probably something I'll get used to. The bullets feel like they actually connect with the enemies, and it's pretty satisfying chaining those headshots one after the other. The AI you get when playing solo, though, are pretty useless. I haven't played online or with others more than a handful of times, and so far I've found Overkill pretty impossible to do loud solo. Who knows, perhaps it will be possible at level cap with like a full build. Speaking of builds though, although the skills I've used so far have been pretty good, I haven't unlocked them all, and I mean, maybe I'll make another video just about those once I've had more of a chance to dive into it. The leveling up by completing challenges, not convinced that it's going to really work. I mean, when you get to the point where you're completing Overkill hard heists, but you're not getting any XP because you've completed all the challenges, seems kinda dumb. Maybe they're just trying to get people to sort of experiment with different weapons on different heists. But yeah, so far I'm not really convinced. I might have to talk more about it again once I've reached max level. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. There's a pretty decent range of guns to get started with. I've unlocked most of them, and so far they felt pretty good, pretty different from each other, and I've been keen to sort of try the new guns as I unlock them. I'm sure if it's anything like Payday 2, we're going to get so many other guns as DLC, and they've even said that there is some free content coming, so hopefully that stuff's good too. Overkill weapons, I'm not really a fan of the grenade launcher at all. I'm really looking forward to getting the sniper rifle because that looks really good. And I'm interested to see what other types they add down the line. I don't mind the outfits and the masks. They look pretty good. This specific mask that you get with the gold edition that has this cool effect, pretty sweet. And I hope this means we'll be getting some pretty interesting sort of more animated masks in future. So I look forward to that. Although all of this so far that I've talked about has been pretty positive stuff, there are definitely still parts of the game that need a bit of work. The minimalistic UI looks a bit tacky and bland. The button prompts aren't very clear. They want you to hold or press a key. The mission selection screen always defaults to showing all the cutscenes and playing audio when you just mouse over a heist. I've also found a few things that aren't very well explained, like how you get favors. The ones that are specific to each heist that you can't buy. Apparently you get them from just completing the heists. It's just like a random chance that you get them, but I didn't see that info anywhere. I found it online somewhere. Maybe I should have known that. I don't know. There are also some features from Payday 2 that just didn't manage to make their way into the game. Having more of a pre-planning beforehand would be pretty sweet. It would be great to have a server browser where we can join games that we kind of see are in progress, about to start, and we know that we're going to join a game with people in it. I guess it's hard to have a server browser when there aren't any servers, right? Which leads me on to the biggest topic of conversation around this game. Most players have been barely able to play it. Payday 3 is an online-only game, which meant that when the full release came around a couple days ago, the servers just couldn't handle it. Since launch, people have been disconnecting and have been barely able to find matches. I was streaming it for a bit in between the connection issues, and I had so many people jumping in wondering how on earth I managed to get into a game. It's that bad. I'm guessing a big part of this was because the game is on Game Pass, so there were far more people than they expected trying to jump on. This is probably something Starbreeze should have predicted, and you know, if the game wasn't online only, in theory everyone would have been able to play it. But that's the decision they made, and their game is suffering from it. Their reasoning was that it supports cross progression and cross-play between, you know, PlayStation and PC and Xbox. I can also see how having online only protects them in a way from both pirating and hackers in the game, kind of destroying their economy and ecosystem. I mean, that makes sense, but does it really justify it? Anyway, there's not that much that can be done now. It sucks that there are so many fans of Payday that are keen to play Payday, but just can't. I'm sure that they are working their asses off over at Starbreeze to try and have everything sorted as soon as they can, because obviously they don't want to lose players, and they want people to enjoy the game that they've spent so long on. A game that, in my opinion, is a pretty good game. So that was my quick thoughts on Payday 3 so far. I hope you enjoyed the video. Chuck us a like or subscribe if you did. I've got a few more Payday 3 videos planned, so keep an eye out for those. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.